Howdy, folks. I bet you're wondering what that is. You recognize this. This is a hammock. But what in the world is that? This is the new Molly Mac Gear survival hammock based on the Moores Scarf, invented by Moores Kochanski. It's a normal hammock, gathered in hammock, kind of short, kind of narrow, meant to be a little small. It's double layer. So let me show you what's really different about it. Okay, let's have a look at this beast on the table. What we have here is a hammock that's 9 feet long and about 54 inches wide, with end channels, webbing suspension, and this no-seam window right here in the middle. The double layer slit is 4 feet long. The idea is, if you've got to go to ground, this hammock is your bivvy. You get in through here, and this is where your face ends up. But that's not all. Moores also figured out that if you had to, you could use this as a garment. Right over here on this other side is a little 12-inch opening. That's your other armhole. And down here at each end, there's another 12-inch opening on each side. You guessed it, those are your leg holes. You can actually wear this hammock if you had to. If you're really cold and you needed something to block the wind or something, you can get in here and wear this thing. Moores is a genius, isn't he? One other little thing I'd like to point out. In order to use it as both a gathered in hammock and as a bivy sack, you have to be able to ungather it, which you can. Nothing to it, really. It's got a nice wide channel, piece of webbing inside. But I thought, well, you might lose that. So I tacked it in. The webbing is captured. So you can't lose it. You won't have to rethread it. You just shove this end in here. Hard to do one-handed, but it can be done. You just shove that in and pull, and you cinch up your hammock again. Alright, now I've got it inverted, but nothing to it, right? Nothing to making it a bivy sack if it's rigged up as a hammock. So, with this suspension, you don't need Dutch clips or spinners or even tree straps. You just run this around the 10 feet of webbing, you run it around the tree and do a Moores Kochanski non-inverting slippery bowline. You can look at another video of mine to see how to do that. You can also easily supplement this with other gimmicks. Rings, tree huggers, whatever. Anyway, there you have it. And in another video, another segment perhaps, I will get inside, or maybe get Thing 1 to get inside and show you what it's like inside the bivy sack and as a garment. So, the Molly Mac Gear Moores Scarf / survival hammock. Thank you. Well, here it is, folks. Molly Mac Gear survival hammock. I'll show you the simple suspension, even though, as I said, it's on a video by itself. You just go around the tree and make a non-inverting slippery bowline. Did that on each end. Now, let me show you. I really have to hand it to Tree to Tree Trail Gear. I think they stumbled on something. Well, they discovered a really important thing, and that is that a narrow hammock is extremely comfortable. There is no cut across the left leg here. There's just no center crease in this hammock, and that's a feature of a switchback. This thing's a couple of inches wider than a switchback, and so that's why when you're where I am, you can see over each side with no trouble. So, great hammock. I'm really pleased with this. Compact. It's sort of like a light hiker, I suppose, because it's only 9 inches. It's only 9 feet long, but 54 inches or so wide. And if I can get the thing one to show you how it works as a bivy sack, we'll be all set. Well, thing one, what you think of this new survival hammock?
I like it. You don't feel the line down it at all.
The cut across the leg?
Yeah.
You comfy?
Yeah.
Is that how you normally sleep?
Mhm.
Kind of a slack hang with an extreme diagonal?
Yep.
And I had it strung up tighter. So this one has no cut across the left leg or cut across the leg. In your case, it'd be the right leg. Whether it's strung slack or tight.
Yep.
Pretty good, huh? Okay, here's your survival hammock. Here's thing one. Here's McIntyre. Thing one is going to demonstrate how you use the survival hammock as though this rug were a pad on the ground and you want to use it as a bivy. Alright, so now, first thing you do is you ungather the ends. So you just pick them up and you stretch them out so the fabric is all square again, okay? And lay it down with the camo side down. The camo side up. What am I saying? There you go. Okay, now do the other end. Camo side up will end up with the bug net up, and that's what you want. Okay, so you're going to ungather it. And again, I'll show you, or you can show us, thing one. Ungather it, stretch it out, now show us why the strap doesn't come on out. Why doesn't the strap pull out of here?
It's stitched in.
Right there. Yeah. Okay. Now, crawl in. There's your bivy.
Which side is it?
You gotta find it. There you go. There's the side with the opening. Now, yeah, put your feet all the way down to the end, and then you can walk to your landing zone. Bring your feet down this way a bit. There you go. Okay. Yeah. Okay, now you just lay down on your pad. See, and you got your arm out the armhole. You don't need your feet out the foothole. And now you've laid down on the excess. Sit up and put the excess out above you. The extra length above your head. You're sitting on it. There you go. Now lay down and toss it up above you until you get to, see? Now there's plenty of room. You're not constricted at your head. You happen to have your feet at the bottom. Alright, and you can pull your arms in to keep them warm or out of the bugs or whatever. And these slits just sort of fall closed, right?
Mhm.
Can you close this one intentionally? Or you could tuck it under you. That's the way you have it. Yeah, that'll work. Can you feel the warmth from being under that bug net?
Yeah.
It would be a little warm in the hot summer, but if you were in bug country and there was no trees, like maybe on top of Short Off, and you had to stop and sleep where you are. Or if you were in the Arizona desert, be alright.
Yeah.
Great. Alright, now show us how you get out of that thing. So see, once you get used to it, you could get in and out without standing up on it, right?
Yeah.
Alright, pretty good. Show me how you get in without standing up. There you go. Pretty good. Well, thank you very much. You going to sleep now?
Yeah.
Well, here I am again in my new survival hammock, which is very comfortable. I'm so glad. You know, when you make something new, you wonder, especially since every hammock I've ever made has been a lot larger than this in both dimensions, length and width. But I wanted to talk to you about something else. You might think if you're gonna have a hammock that you might use to go to ground, that you got to have a pad. But that's not true. Now, the reason folks think that you got to have a pad in order to go to ground is because they're not willing to lay on their down underquilt, and it wouldn't be very effective anyway. It'd crush it, make a mess, it wouldn't be warm. But if you have a Molly Mac Gear Jerry chair or a Baby Orca with a sil nylon outside, you can go to ground without any trouble, because these synthetic underquilts are pretty rugged and they work just fine on the ground. Angry Sparrow is always talking about using his when he goes kayaking as a ground cloth or whatever. So that's perhaps the best combination is a survival hammock with a Baby Orca or a Jerry chair with a sil nylon outer cover. And I believe that we're going to offer it as a package just for that reason. So the double layer hammock now is not just for putting a pad inside, it's for getting inside, as long as you have a survival hammock with that no-see-um window. So there you have it.